Welcome to the Apple Pie Club, where we're here to take you on a thrilling journey through the realms of philosophy and spirituality. I'm Tanya, your practical philosopher, and I'm joined by Skye, your spiritual guide. And our aim is to offer you a holistic perspective on life that blends insights from diverse philosophies and spiritual practices. So, from personal growth to timeless wisdom, we are going to cover it all. Now, whether you're a seasoned seeker or just starting your journey, join us on this adventure because the Apple Pie Club is open to all and we can't wait to have you along for the ride. So grab yourself a slice of apple pie and let's dive in to the world of ideas together. And this week's quote is from Ramana Maharshi. And he says, "Let come what comes, let go what goes, and see what remains." Skye, I'm really excited to hear what you've got to say about this, I must say. Take it away.
Well, I'm excited about this one too, because I'm going to start with two universal laws of the universe that just describe these so beautifully. These universal laws, there's 12 of them, and they really they are, deeply rooted in the fabric of our reality. And I'm going to start with the law of compensation. And this law states that if you help others, you will be helped. And we receive what we give. In other words, we'll never be in debt to nature. And this is why we can give and let go. This is why we can allow what comes, and we can let go what we need to let go, because actually we can understand that this is a spiritual law. It's a universal law that as we give, it comes back to us. Now, some people say it might be in 1,000 years, in 10 lifetimes, who knows? I'm not going there. I just know that this law works for whosoever. So Ralph Waldo Emerson, he was a philosopher who wrote an essay in 1841 called Compensation. And this is where he presented this idea that the universe operates on this principle of moral balance, where each action has a corresponding reaction, which is actually the spiritual equivalent to Isaac Newton's physical law, where he has every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Well, Emerson discovered that this happens in the universe as well as a universal law. So he didn't believe in luck or circumstances. He absolutely believed that we could let come what comes and let go what goes, because this law reminds us that as we weave, we then let go. We weave and then we release the outcome. We do our part and then we surrender the rest to divine intelligence, and that's what remains. Martin Seligman, who's a modern day psychologist on the happiness movement, happiness principle, and Adam Grant, both happiness psychologists, they've conducted studies on gratitude and this idea of giving and taking. In fact, Adam Grant's book was called Give and Take, the revolutionary approach to success. And they both concluded that the most meaningful way to succeed is to help others to succeed. So what we give out in terms of kindness and compassion comes back to us. And we don't have to worry if we don't feel that we're receiving what we should get from somebody else. It will come back to us in another form, through another way. Let come what comes, let go what goes. The universe will balance it all out.
Beautiful. I have a friend who's had a bit of a hard time. And I looked at one of her posts on social media the other day, and she said, I don't care what other people think about me or what's being said. I know within myself that I have a lot of love to give and I give a lot of love, and nobody's going to take that away from me. It kind of reminded me of what she said. I thought it was beautiful.
There's a wonderful, actually, Marcy Shimoff always talks about this. She says, the joy that we have, the world didn't give it and the world it can't take it away. It doesn't matter if we don't see it coming to us in the way that we think our reward should come to us, of our labor. In other words, it will know that this is a natural law. It will come back to us at the right time and in the right way.
Yeah, beautiful. Well,
Mm.
this quote was very much actually the cornerstone of when I started studying practical philosophy, because it taught me that one of the most invaluable skills in life is to embrace the art of flow. And you
Mm.
said, let it come, let it go,
Mm.
weave away, let it go.
Yeah.
I think one of the root causes of unhappiness and discontentment is actually not letting things go in between. So we kind of start layering things, or we set big expectation,
Mm.
and
Hold on so tight.
it just doesn't work out, does it?
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. It's well,
So,
actually, it's one of the rhythms. Sorry, another law, the law of rhythm. But
yes.
yeah, and that's that all things flow in a cycle, each
Mm,
with its unique cadence. Nature has its cycles.
mm.
Winter thing. We don't expect things to grow in winter, do we? We just let the trees, take their rest, do their thing, because we know in spring we're gonna see buds, and in summer we're gonna produce a harvest from our labor. So we allow nature to have its flow and its rhythms and its cycles, but we think that we have to produce all the time. But as you said, it's this dance of life, this dance of energy in nature.
And dance through the experiences of what you're going through in everyday life. I can remember going through an airport once, and this guy got really, really upset and irate about something which happened in the airport. I don't even know what it was. I'm looking at him, he's going to get really angry, really angry and really frustrated, oblivious to everybody looking at him in the airport. And I just thought, I wonder what's going through your head. Because it definitely wasn't any flow going on there, right?
Mm, mm,
Didn't something you got, if we get attached to something, attached to an experience,
mm,
and we
mm,
don't let it go,
mm, mm, mm,
the only person it really harms is ourselves.
mm,
It doesn't
mm.
harm anybody else but
No,
ourselves, and takes us
that's
into a space of discontentment.
yeah. But I heard this saying the other day that to look at somebody and to say, I wonder what happened to you
Mm,
for you to feel like that. I wonder
mm,
what happened to you for you to be upset in that way, for you to
yeah.
react in that way. And that's where kindness and compassion comes in, that we could so easily respond or react in the same
Mm.
way. But when we look at them and say, I wonder what happened to you today, for you, because as Thomas Aquinas says, he had this natural law. He believed, he had such confidence that everybody was born good, and so nobody really wants to behave badly. Things happen, and we do.
I was making an observation in the last few weeks, and I was observing a new relationship.
Mm,
People being in love and da 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 da. And then a few weeks passed, and the relationship, I could see it changing. I could see slight
mm,
changes.
mm.
And that kindness was disappearing and
Oh,
being
that's
replaced with annoyance.
mm, mm. Oh,
Right. And I think sometimes, and I'm saying that because sometimes we can be kinder to people we don't know,
mm.
to the people we do know.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. And I think we spoke about it not in episode 10, where we were saying you wouldn't speak to someone else like that. So don't speak to yourself like that. Again, it's you wouldn't speak to a stranger like that. So don't talk to somebody close to you like that.
Mm,
Carry on that kindness, because I think kindness is challenged when we have experiences which don't meet our expectations.
mm, mm.
Do you agree?
I guess so. I mean, Mo Godot taught on happiness, and he said our big number one problem, actually, big number one problem. That doesn't really make sense. Our number one problem is that we have expectations that of others in terms of how they should behave and how they should react and how they should respond, and when they don't, that's when we get upset. So, and I remember one day, I have a friend in the States, and we used to travel together quite regularly. And one day he said to me, "You need to lower your expectations of people." And I remember thinking, that's not right. So now I understand, by doing that
Yeah.
program with Mo Godard, it's not lowering your expectations. It's just, how are we going to respond when somebody doesn't meet our expectations? So it's okay to have expectations. It's just, how do we respond when somebody doesn't meet those
I
expectations?
like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Because it's getting a grip of your response, isn't it? Not buying into what's ever at play, not buying into you've got an expectation of them and they're not reaching that expectation. And now you're not letting it come and you're not letting it go.
Mm.
So what is going to remain is potentially an argument.
Yeah, it really is a very, well, we won't say difficult, but this is a challenging one when it comes to relationships, and to allow other people to be who they are,
Yeah.
and to allow yourself to be who you are. And yeah, let come what comes. As Adyashanti says, let everything be exactly as it is without the need to change it.
Yeah.
Let come what comes. We don't have to change it. Let
Yeah.
go what go. And what will remain will remain. So, and we can, as we mentioned, we can trust that the universe sustains us. We can trust that the universe, this law of the universe, will hold us and bring to us everything that we in the right time, everything that we have given, it will come back to us.
When I started practicing living like this,
Mm.
I can remember my father coming over to Australia from the UK, and we just had different personalities, so we wound each other up. Right, it's nothing more than that. He was very strict. I was more hippie, fine, free flowing. And then, so we'd always bicker, and eventually he'd annoy me and I'd annoy him. It wasn't like one way, we would annoy each other. My father had come over from the UK to Australia, and I'd been studying philosophy for a good year by this point. And he was like totally blown away by how different I was. I didn't bite at him. I didn't have a go at him. I didn't react to him, didn't do anything, right? I just let things come and I let things go. And he looked up to me and said, what's happened to you? I said, what? He said, you're so calm and so nice. What's happened? So I've been studying practical philosophy. He said, well, I want to come to that as well.
Right.
So he ended up joining me purely by this quote here, by me just letting things come, letting them go. And what ended up remaining was fabulous.
Yes.
To how I used to react before. It really had a massive, profound impact on my life and my relationship with my father. It was
Well, if
wonderful.
you think about people who are so controlling and manipulating, and they're trying to make sure that everything happens their way, and in the end, it doesn't, does it? Because all it does is actually make everybody's life miserable. This quote is just about thinking, what are we trying to control? What are we trying to turn into to make it happen our way, when actually the universe may have a completely different way? Now, the other interesting thing is to be very careful to balance it. I love this about balance in life. There's always balance. And, Florence Scovel Shinn, in her book, The Game of Life and How to Play It, she talks about, we do need to take action. This isn't a que sera, whatever will be, will be. I'll just sit back and let life do it. What come will come, what go will go. Whatever happens, let it all remain. We still need to take action. The law, one of the laws, universal laws, is the law of action, which I'll be talking about at some point. So and our intuition. We need to listen to our intuition and step out. And as she says, Florence Scovel Shinn, that the intuition never explains; it simply points the way. So there's this idea of trust and taking action and stepping out, but it's in that matter of holding it lightly, taking that action and saying, okay, this is what I'm envisaging the outcome to be. If that outcome is exactly that, that's amazing. And if it isn't, knowing that something else, this or something better, actually, is what many of the teachers of the energy teachers say. This or something better, let this or something better happen for me. And so we still take action. We still have goals and dreams and plans, but we don't hold on to it so tightly that we are trying to control and manipulate and make sure that everything's going our way. We allow things to come. What comes will come. What goes, let it go. And what remains is the beauty of it all.
And to remember that we're all part of the universe. Because I'm envisaging it as you're talking, dropping a pebble in the ocean and the ripples just filtering out and still all being part of one.
That's it. That's law number one. We are divine oneness. And so as we, and this is why I have really eliminated, I would like to say completely, but control and manipulation is, just let it be, because how we treat others is how we treat ourselves. And how we treat ourselves is how we treat others. So it's exactly that everything we do affects everybody around us, and the greater universe as well. We have a greater effect on the universe as well. Okay, Tanya, let's do our tips for the day. What is your tip on this quote?
Okay, so my tip is, when any of our friends who are listening encounter a challenging moment, I want them to pause. And this pause will allow you to let go of your initial reaction, so you're not rushing to respond. So when you pause, then just take a moment and acknowledge any emotional thoughts that are surfacing during this pause, and simply observe them. Let them come and let them go without judgment or attachment. Then, so once you've paused and you've observed what's going on, then respond based on calmness and kindness. And just be very thoughtful of what you're going to say, how it's going to come across, how you're going to react. Because therefore you've let something come, you've let something go, because you've paused and you've let everything go. You've responded in a far more productive kind way, and then see what happens after that. You'll be quite surprised. It's going to be quite powerful.
Yeah.
So that's my advice, is that pause.
Yeah, I love that, because that's part of the law of rhythm is nature pauses between seasons, and we pause between our breath. But many of the meditations will say, breathe in for 4, pause, breathe out for 4, pause, or they'll say, notice the pause in between the breath. So we don't breathe in, out, in, out. We breathe in and we pause and we breathe out and we pause. So there's a pause even between our breaths, which I absolutely love. And I love the practicing the letting go as well. And my tip for the week is be aware of the cycles in our lives. Be aware where we are in tandem and in flow, where we are dancing with nature and the cadence of life, where we're that in and that out. There's also that cycle of the tide going out and the tide coming in. Be aware where you're moving through life with a sense of purpose, as a dancer moves with music, moves to the music, and embrace the rhythm at each phase. That serves you in some way. I have really been practicing this in my life, to actually be aware. Okay, why do I feel out of rhythm right now? What's going on? And to be able to stop and take that pause and to ask myself, why am I feeling out of rhythm? Why am I feeling out of this flow? And then do what I need to do, whether it's a meditation or whatever it is. Maybe it's some logical reasoning that needs to take place. That's in power as well on the map of human consciousness. There's nothing wrong with logical reason. and having these discussions and trying to work out what it is you need to do in life. So my tip would be aware of your cycles and be aware of where you may not be flowing in life.
I like it. Well, those 2 tips are going to give you a real shift if you practice them this week. And now we're going to do a meditation to help you embed that. So for those who don't listen to the meditation, thanks for joining us. And those who are, we're going to begin the meditation.
Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to settle into the space. Notice your breath and notice the pause. Feel the air entering and leaving your nostrils, and observe the rise and the fall of your chest. With each exhale, feel yourself becoming more grounded and more present in this moment. And as you continue to breathe, turn your attention to whatever thoughts and feelings and sensations arise. Simply allow them to be there. Acknowledge their presence. Let them be without resistance. As these thoughts and feelings make themselves known to your awareness, practice letting them go. Some people like to visualize seeing them leave with their out-breath, like gray smoke leaving the body. Other people might see a river in front of you and want to put these thoughts on top of leaves as they float along the river. Whatever works for you, allow these thoughts and these feelings to leave your body and your mind. And observe their departure without attachment. To let them go, knowing that the universe has your back. Knowing that the laws of the universe will bring to you that which you have sown in your life, in divine timing. Notice the calm and the peace, and perhaps a neutral emptiness within you. Rest in this experience, observing what it feels like to simply be without those thoughts, without those feelings, without holding on to those outcomes. Now, as you gently prepare to bring the sense of peace and clarity back with you as you enter your present surroundings, when you're ready, you could slowly open your eyes.
Thank you. We are the Apple Pie Club.